Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the welcoming from Val Choi on cello and Sophia Dawson on piano, an original piece. Thank you for being here today at this historical event. My name is Maria Mururi, and I will be emceeing today's Plaque Unveiling. I am the current student government prefect and co-head of the Black Student Union. To begin, I would like to introduce Danny Amale, grade 9 student and BSU co-head, to begin with the land acknowledgement.
Branksome Hall. It is a place some of us find joy in. Some of us find peace, comfort, and solace. Some of us call it home. I do. However, while it may be our home, it is not our land. It is a land of the many indigenous peoples who we still have yet to reconcile with. Previously, I didn't know the meaning this land held. Now, I am learning, educating myself on the significance it holds, as this land tells stories of the past, present, and future. We, as members of this community, as people who benefit from this land, should all strive to learn about the importance of it. I certainly have a long way to go, but I know that every step counts. I urge you, the Branksome community, to take the time to acknowledge, reflect, and take action. We owe it to ourselves and to the indigenous people. We wish to acknowledge this land on which Branksome operates. For thousands of years, it has been the home of the many indigenous peoples, the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, this meeting place is still the home of many indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to work and go to school on this land.
Thank you, Danny. Coined as the singer who broke the color barrier in Canadian classical music by the Halifax Chronicle-Herald, Portia White was a trailblazing Black Canadian contralto singer and teacher who gained international recognition during her career. Born on June 24, 1911 in Truro, Nova Scotia, White was the third of 13 children born to Isidora White and Andrew White. From the age of 6, Portia White used her gift of a voice to sing in the local church choir. She was determined to become a professional singer, later moving on to perform in operas at age 8 as Lucia de Lammermoor. After graduating from Dalhousie University, she began working as a school teacher in Black Nova Scotian communities like Africville. Concurrently, she took voice lessons and sang on radio broadcasts hosted by her father. These performances didn't go without recognition, with many being enraptured by her voice. After competing in the Halifax Music Festival, she won the Helen Kennedy Silver Cup 3 times, once in 1935, once in 1937, and again in 1938. In 1939, with a new scholarship from the Ladies Musical Club, she began studying at the Halifax Conservatory of Music, where she began singing as the contralto she is well known as today. Her formal debut as an opera singer came when she was 30 years old at the Toronto's Eden Auditorium on the 7th of November, 1941. This performance was heavily praised in the media, a writer from the Globe and Mail saying she sang, quote, with a pungent expression of beauty and utterance, unquote. After resigning from teaching to perform as an opera singer full-time, White faced some difficulties getting bookings. She still faced a lot of racism as a Black woman, despite her talent. She often received less credit for her own successes, with other Canadians crediting her success solely to her race. However, she persevered. She was able to complete a widely acclaimed performance at New York's Town Hall on March 13, 1944, becoming the first Canadian of any race to ever perform there. With her success, an organization called the Nova Scotia Talent Trust was founded in 1944 to help her focus on her career goal. She toured around the world across North America, South America, and in countries such as Switzerland, among others. She retired from public performances in 1952 after an acclaimed career, deciding to begin teaching again in Toronto. It is here where Portia White becomes part of the history of Branksome Hall. She began teaching voice at Branksome for a number of years, leaving a positive impact and skill set with all the pupils who were in her classes. The photo on the right is of Portia White at Branksome Hall. Miss White briefly came out of retirement to perform a few concerts in the 50s and 60s, once for Queen Elizabeth II in 1964, and again in 1967 in Ottawa. Although we cannot listen to her live, there are several concert recordings available, which can be found on the Library and Archives of Canada. In 1995, she was named a Person of Historical Significance by the Canadian government, and there are several prizes in her honor, such as the Portia White Prize, which is awarded every year by the Nova Scotia Arts Council to an outstanding Nova Scotian citizen in the arts. I will now turn it over to Abigail DeBen, a grade 7 student, to tell us more about the significance of red roses.
Today, as we celebrate Miss White, we are surrounded by red roses, and we are wearing red rose pins. Behind me, you will see a photo of joyful Miss White holding a bouquet of red roses. After many of her stunning performances, Miss White would receive a bouquet of red roses. Today, we are honoring Miss White with red roses as recognition of her artistic accomplishments and talents. We have chosen to honor Miss White with red roses as a testament to resilience, strength, and endurance in the face of racism and discrimination. Her longtime admirer and friend, who is Walter Scott, shared that after a concert in Toronto, he drove Miss White home. When they arrived at the one-way street, Miss White was holding a bouquet of red roses she received after her performance, and was rudely told by an officer that the street was too crowded and she wasn't permitted to go home. While Walter recounts being angry, he remembered Miss White sitting regally in the passenger seat, saying she was used to such treatment. Despite this, she held her roses and her head high. The red rose reminds us that Portia White embodied beauty and grace during challenging times.
Thank you, Abigail. While planning for this event, this story stood out to us. Despite the circumstances, she held her head high and kept on singing. We should all remember the bravery of Portia White and hold our own roses or other objects of strength that will keep us on a remarkable path. Many of her other relatives have played a role in shaping our national fabric. One example of many is her brother Bill White, who was a composer and social activist, as well as the first Black Canadian to run for federal office and becoming an officer of the Order of Canada in 1970. We are thrilled to welcome members of the family here today, such as Dr. George Eliot Clarke, a distinguished professor, artist, historian, and has served as the Poet Laureate of Canada. We also welcome Ms. Sheila White, who is the subcommittee chair of the National Apology Advisory Committee and is currently steering the Government of Canada's apology for systemic anti-Black racism during the First World War. Portia White's father, Reverend Captain William Andrew White, served as the only Black lieutenant of the segregated No. 2 Construction Battalion. Greatness, activism, and achievement is highly valued and worked towards within the White family. Through my conversations with Dr. Clarke, learning about Portia White's indomitable spirit has been truly motivational. Today, we continue to honor the contributions of Portia White and the trailblazer she was for Black Canadian contralto singers. I will now turn it over to Ms. Jervich, our school principal, for her opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Maria and Abigail. And good morning, everyone. It is such a pleasure to have all of you here with us today. I want to welcome Portia White's family who are in attendance, invited guests, our students, parents, community members, faculty, and staff. The whole school is watching this event as it's live streamed throughout the school. A very warm welcome to all of you at this moment of historical significance and celebration for Branksome Hall. The time has certainly come for this unique commemoration ceremony, a celebration of the life and legacy of Portia White. As Branksome Hall's principal, now in my 24th year as principal, today is an important day, a great opportunity for me to pay tribute to Portia White, the first Black Canadian to become an international music star, and to my predecessor, Branksome Hall's second principal, Edith M. Reed. Miss Reed played a pivotal role in arranging Portia's debut performances in Toronto and in New York City in the early 1940s. This launched her career internationally. She then arranged for Portia, much to our great fortune, to teach voice and music right here at Branksome Hall. I invite all of us to reflect on this collective, historic moment during a time when so many are invested in working together to balance the scales of equity and inclusion throughout society and to our organizations It is an honor to pay tribute to Portia White and her pioneering work that paved the way for Black Canadian artists. Our students are central to this intentional work as we study our history and celebrate Black excellence within the student curriculum and within our broader community. As part of this important commemoration, I am delighted that a plaque honoring Portia White and her ties to Branksome Hall has been created in collaboration with invited guest Dr. George Elliott Clarke, author, poet, and professor, and Miss White's great nephew. Now, Dr. Clarke, a few words. He has played an instrumental role in seeing this project come to light, working with students and faculty to engage in reflection about language and curricular connections as we celebrate Portia White's place in Canada and in Branksome Hall's history. This plaque will be unveiled today and positioned in a place of honor on the southwest corner of Mount Pleasant Road and Elm Avenue for all to see and to share the story of this musical legend. You're in for a real treat today as our program features a pre-recorded contribution from renowned soprano Meisha Berger-Gosman-Lee, who played Portia in George Elliott Clarke's CBC television production, One Heart Broken into Song. I also welcome world-renowned vocalist and past Branksome Hall parrot, Shakura Sahida, who is the mother of Branksome Hall alum Zoe Blue, and she will be introducing Meisha's piece. I want to thank and congratulate our students who have contributed music, dance, and poetry to enhance our program, and to recognize the faculty who have worked with students and Dr. Clarke to reflect on the intersections between art and the struggle for justice and equality. Finally, I extend my gratitude to Lizaveta Kozolova, Branksome's alum from the class of 2015 and now a renowned New York-based soprano, for her participation and her show-closing musical contribution. It is now my pleasure to introduce alum Najat Al-Hussein, class of 2020, who joins us by video, and English department head and faculty member, Miss Jill Strymus. Najat graduated as the recipient of the Donald Faulkner Cup, awarded to a student whose participation in and contributions to the school's activities have most exemplified the spirit of Branksome Hall. She received UBC's Centennial Scholars Award, an entrance scholarship which recognizes students who have demonstrated leadership achievements in the arts, community, athletics, and school. Najat is currently studying in the Bachelor of Science program at UBC. As an inaugural member of the Beyond Tomorrow program, Najat is playing an instrumental role in helping to create a vision that will help young Black academics thrive, excel, and have impact. Najat will be joined by faculty member Jill Strymus. Like many members of the staff and faculty at Branksome Hall, Jill is committed to Branksome being a community that honors and celebrates Black excellence and continues to strive to create an environment where diversity, equity, and inclusion help shape our approach to education. Jill is honored to represent the faculty and staff at this celebration today. And now, over to you both.
Thank you, Karen. Symbols matter, and who is celebrated in a space matters. The images we are surrounded by matter. Portia White walked these halls. Black excellence has existed and continues to exist in this space. By surfacing and celebrating Portia White's story at Branksome Hall, we commit to finding new ways to foster evolve, and recognize Black excellence in our community. Many years ago, I had the privilege of having George Eliot Clarke as my professor. He left an indelible mark and helped to shape how I view the world and how I approach my work as an educator. Over the past 5 years, many of us in the Branksome community have had the privilege of learning from and being inspired by Dr. Clarke. In honoring Portia White, we are also honoring the instrumental role he has played in helping the Branksome community grow. Our community also has had the privilege of learning from Najat Al-Hussein during this crucial time. Her mother's joining us today. She has been a champion and one of the architects of how we embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion in our community. And she has been an important partner in making the Portia White Project come to life. While Najat is my former student, she is also, together with Dr. Clarke, one of the great teachers of my life. I am grateful that all of us will have the opportunity to learn from Najat today. Representation matters, recognition matters, and gathering together to celebrate Portia White and her legacy of Black excellence matters. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Najat Hassan, and I'm so grateful to be part of this ceremony honoring Portia White and celebrating her legacy. Her recognition is incredibly meaningful on many different levels, as she was the very first Black classical singer to be recognized for her talents and paved the way for many, many others. Her legacy is one that future generations of Black Canadian artists will look at and continue to look at with pride and inspiration. This is why representation is immensely important. It helps you envision yourself doing and achieving different things because you can see yourself in somebody else and feel seen and heard through their experience. It gives you that extra boost of confidence that you might need and a little bit of joy as well. I know I personally feel that way whenever I see Black women as doctors, as that is a field that I hope to go into. However, sometimes those pre-existing experiences unfortunately do not exist yet, and you may find yourself navigating a new environment on your own. It will feel uncomfortable at first and at times quite lonely. But once you find your way and begin paving your own path, you'll start to see the people and communities that join you on your journey because they too can relate and feel heard through your experience. Being the first to break a barrier or shatter a ceiling sounds honestly quite scary, but it's the people who take that risk and break those barriers, such as the wonderful Portia White, who end up creating an impact felt generations later. I know we still have a long way to go in terms of representation, but by honoring the past and what they've done, we're welcoming the future and what's to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Najat and Ms. Strymus. It's wonderful to be able to work with Najat again after the work we completed together being BSU co-heads last year. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Ms. Shakura Saida. Busy being a world-renowned vocalist and talented actress, Ms. Saida is also the proud mother to Branksome alum Zoe Blue. When Ms. Saida learned that Portia White was being honored, she graciously asked her friend, who happens to be world-renowned opera singer Misha Brugger-Gosman-Lee. We are very grateful to have an artist the caliber of Ms. Saida, who, like Portia White, exemplifies Black excellence and artistry. As a member of the Branksome community, I will now turn it over to Ms. Saida on video.
Hi there, my name is Shakura Saida, and I'm a Canadian vocalist and an actor, but more importantly, I am the mother of a Branksome alum and arts prefect, Zoe Blue Coates. It's been a real pleasure to be involved with Branksome Hall on this very special commemoration of trailblazer Portia White. You know, I've been a member of the entertainment community for almost 40 years. And although I've been lucky to have great mentors like Salome Bay and Jackie Richardson, I have to tell you that as an artist, there are still times when the pressures and the obstacles of this business can really have you doubting that your dreams, your ambitions are possible. Knowing that there was a Black woman from Halifax who broke through racial barriers, reached international acclaim, and was known to be one of the best classical singers in the world of the 20th century, well, it just drives home that all things considered impossible are absolutely and thoroughly possible, even if it takes just a little bit more hard work and just a little bit more determination. We just have to remember to always have faith in our abilities. And if we ever have doubts, we can look back at all that Miss White accomplished. Speaking of being accomplished, it gives me tremendous joy to introduce an artist whose voice, whose spirit, and whose stage presence have made her an international star. All of that, plus the fact that she is a born and bred generational Scotian, make her the perfect choice to perform one of Miss White's most well-known spirituals, Rise On, King Jesus. Here's my friend and Shiro, Misha Berger-Gossman Lee.
My name is Misha Berger-Gossman. I'm definitely singing Ride On King Jesus. And I'm very happy about it. Ride on, King Jesus, no man can hinder me. Ride on, King Jesus, ride on, no man can hinder me. No man can hinder me. Ride on, King Jesus. No man can hinder me. Ride on, King Jesus. Ride on. No man. No man. No man. Ride on. Ride on, King Jesus, ride on. No man can hinder me. No man can hinder me. No man can hinder me. For he is King of kings, he is Lord of lords. Jesus Christ, the first and last, no man works like him. For he is King of kings, he is Lord of lords. Jesus Christ, the first and last, no man works like him. King Jesus rides on the white horse, no man works like him. He rider of Jordan, he did cross, no man works like him. For he is King of kings, he is Lord of lords. Jesus Christ, the first and last, no man works like him. For he is King of kings, he is Lord of lords. Jesus Christ, the first and last, no man works like him. For he is King of kings, he is Lord of lords. Jesus Christ, the first and last, no man works like him. For he is King of kings, he is Lord of lords. Jesus Christ, the first and last, no man works like him. For he is King of kings, he is Lord of lords. Jesus Christ, the first and last, no man works like him. For he is King of kings, for he is Lord of lords. Jesus Christ, the first and last, no man works like him. King Jesus rides on a milk white horse, no man works like him. To the river of Jordan he did no man looks like him. Jesus Christ, King Jesus. Amen, 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 amen,
Wow. Such such wise words from Miss Saida, and then a beautiful performance by Miss Brooker Gossman Lee, also accompanied by Aaron Davis on piano and Stephen Lee on guitar. It is now, oh, sorry, I gotta get this first. I think Dr. Clark knows what this one's about, but it is now my great pleasure to introduce Dr. George Eliot Clark, Poet Laureate of Canada and great-nephew of Portia White. I've had the honor of working with Dr. Clark during the last two Branksome Hall Black History Month assemblies. Born in Nova Scotia, Dr. Clark is a poet, novelist, and playwright, and is well known as a pioneer in the study of African Canadian literature. He's the author of various poetry collections, including Illuminated Verses and Execution Poem, The Black Acadian Tragedy of George and Rue, which won the Governor General's Award for Poetry. Dr. Clark has also written many novels, such as Willa Falls, which was later adapted into a play. He is currently the inaugural E.J. Pratt Professor of Canadian Literature at the University of Toronto. Dr. Clark is also the recipient of many awards for his work, including the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Achievement Award, the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Fellowship Prize, and was appointed as the National Poet Laureate in 2016, and is the recipient of 8 honorary doctorates. Dr. Clark has been a huge collaborator in the work since 2017 to recognize the importance of Portia White's legacy at Branksome Hall and beyond. Although we were cheering for opposite teams during March Madness, me, of course, going for that Final Four win, go Heels, there is no one else from Duke who could ever match Dr. Clark's energy or passion for the English language. So we can set aside the rivalry for now, at least. Without further ado, I'm so pleased to welcome Dr. George Eliot Clark to the podium.
Thank you so much. And may the wonderful rivalry continue. And congratulations to you on going to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Great institution. And, carrying on traditions of Black excellence from here to there and back again. So thank you so much for that welcome introduction. I also want to thank Branksome Hall. I want to rename Branksome Hall Thanksome Hall this morning because of the dedication and devotion of everyone here, staff and faculty and students, for bringing today's presentation, the unveiling of this great plaque, into reality. And it's been such a great pleasure for me to work with all of you to see this happen. And I won't take up too much time, but again, I'm just, my heart is full. I'm so happy. I do want to say something, though, that I think is really important for us all, which is to say that in these moments of war and plague and agony and terror and attacks on human liberties and civil rights, the arts are so important. They always are, but at these moments, we need to grab hold of them and seize them and recognize them and uplift them, because the arts remind us of our fundamental humanity. What brings us together? And so the poetry I want to read right now is related to Portia White's singing for troops who were departing for Europe during the Battle of the Atlantic during World War II, and serenading them off. Perhaps her voice was the last voice of song that they heard before they made their way, if they survived the Battle of the Atlantic, to make their way to the shores of Europe and participate in the liberation of those lands that were under Nazi tyranny. But I think it's really important to recognize that her contribution was through the arts, was through music, was through song, to uplift everyone, to maintain everyone's human spirit. And so as I get into reading from this book, Portia White, A Portrait in Words, I just wanted to have that in mind, because the portion I'm going to read is titled At War, 1940-1945. I'm just going to read a small part of this, but I also wanted to share with you the impetus for getting this book written, which is, of course, there was a contract from Nimbus Books of Halifax, so would you please do this book on your late great aunt? I said, yes, yes, yes. But of course, I'm very busy and so on, and I kept saying, I'll get to it, I'll get to it, I'll get it done. And I kept having a whole series of sore throats that were just inexplicable. They just come and they would last. And finally, my companion said to me, you know, it's your great aunt telling you to get this book written. So once I did, the sore throats disappeared. I haven't had any sense. So I do think that there was something from the beyond in pushing me to get this work done. So here it is. It rhymes, and I'll keep it brief. At War. And it's written in her voice, which explains the sore throats probably. That I'd bring Nova Scotia praise. This was said in the war-dark days of May 1940, when Save the Children Fund suffered a grave income crisis. Slated to sing, Shirley Blois took sick, canceling the Child Welfare Benefit Show. So I performed my contralto. Delivery of spirituals blazed me a starlet. The burials of hurts in honeyed versicle, the mix of gravel and treacle. My patent style growling, trilling, proved theatrical and thrilling. I think I should remove this now. And so I became the darling of Halifax, her mint starling, prima donna, my only need, a champion, Miss Edith Reed. Doctorated a principal of Toronto's swank Branksome Hall, whose fee become leaders sedate, designated my debut date, 7th of November, 41 at Auditorium Eaton, to showcase me as subversive, i.e. sublime, proof positive of ebon excellence, to prove myself beyond New Scotland's love, that I was a high star shining above Atlantic saltwater wave whining. And so able to light the globe, incandescent was I. The Globe and Mail critic didn't type bump. He hailed my authentic triumph. I'd arrived well at Toronto, a chanteuse, belle at bel canto. And so University Press of Oxford, managing my success, mandated that I'd best now choose. Seize headlines, reverse the recluse. I quit school, my resignation, wired up Africville, but ration my time I had to. Africville, I left, Harlem boasts Sugar Hill. Comport, transport was I to Manhattan, thanks to Miss Reed, Edward Johnson, the Metropolitan Opera manager, mandated Portia, I should debut at the town hall. And I'm going to close by reciting a song that was actually composed with my cousin, Chris White, who himself is a nephew of Portia White, and it's simply called Hymn to Portia White. I can't sing. So, actually, I can sing, but I'm not going to try to sing. Better not. Portia, oh Portia White, voice like silver and skin like night, you made each song a flaming dart, a meteor to blaze each heart. Born for glory, never forget the day's not done when sun has set. Behind you glimmers history, before you glitters destiny. Come out of Truro, Lil Zion, where love is pure contradiction. White-robed Baptist face white sheet clan, both preaching love for God and man. Stroll through the marsh, hear waters speak. New Testament, Hebrew and Greek. Raise the church roof, raise it up high. Catch Caesar Jesus, stride that sky. Stand statue proud in deep cold snow. Tell Nova Scotia you must go. Go to Cuba, go to Brazil. Entrance the crowds, enchant and thrill. Take to New York, hear critics praise your voice that sets stone hearts ablaze. Conquer London and quake the Queen. Beauty like yours there's never been. By and by you lay down burdens. Sweet Jesus heals all your hurting. You go home to our Lord clear and free. African Baptist prophecy. Oh, colored gal, our very own. Down to earth genius at God's throne. You're our glory, we each freed slave. The North Star is your lustrous grave. Portia, oh Portia, Portia white, voice like silver and skin like night.
I don't even know how I'm supposed to follow up a powerful reading like that, but it did make me think fondly of the songs my own Kenyan ancestors used in their fight against the British colonial powers. So thank you for that, Dr. Clark. Moving to the next page. Now I would like to introduce the choir and dance performance. First, the student chamber performance of I Carry You in My Heart by Even Ramos, and then the student dance performance of Rise Up by Andrew Day. These dedicated students have completed research and put in much effort to celebrate Portia White's ongoing legacy. Please enjoy the performances.
Hi, my name is Vita.
My name is Karina. And my name is Amanda. And we are grade 12 members of the Branksome Hall Dance Company. In dedication to Mrs. Portia White, we are presenting a piece to the song Rise Up by Andrew Day.
Portia White's legacy and her impact on the arts community embodies a spirit of resilience, which is reflected in our song choice today. After Day's 2016 performance of Rise Up at the Democratic National Convention, the song became an anthem for fighting racial injustice and demonstrating empowerment.
As a trailblazer in the arts and a leader for Black Canadians, we celebrate Portia White and her representation of perseverance and excellence. We hope you enjoy.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we'll rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, I like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Wow, what a wonderful performance from both the dance company and the singers. Amazing. I think those both truly speak to Portia White's legacy on the arts at Branksome. A group of our grade 9 students who are passionate about poetry also had the privilege of meeting with Dr. George Eliot Clark. He shared an impassioned telling of Portia White's contributions to Canadian opera music, the challenges she faced, and her role as a teacher at Branksome Hall, as well as the importance of art in society. Following the meeting, the students were inspired to begin the creative writing process and create celebratory spoken word pieces celebrating Portia White. After 2 writing workshops led by spoken word artist and educator Joshua Watkis and the support of teachers Samantha Fleming and Michael Gross, the students spent weeks refining their artistry before taking to the stage to record their tributes to Portia White and celebrate her legacy as a symbol of Black excellence in Canada. Some of the poems they wrote focused on her voice and legendary performances on stages across the world. Others explored her resilience and still more focused on retracing her steps through the halls of Branksome as a vocal teacher. The results were inspiring as students faced their fears of public speaking on camera, made personal connections to the legacy of Portia White, and created beautiful spoken word artistry pieces. Today, we will hear from two poets. Lisa Baumer will perform her original piece, The Voice of an Angel, and Sabrina Seville will perform her original piece, The Soul Who Dared. We invite you to view the entire collection of celebratory works of our student poets on the Branksome Hall website. Please enjoy the video performance.
Her voice. It could move mountains. It could make the trees sway without wind. Her voice. Called down from the great above, a divine female, a black female. Her voice split the invisible line that was perpetually there, but never seen. Her voice was the outlet of her passion. She dreamt the way to her destination and she made it. Gorgeous visions filled with hope and ambition. Being the first Black Canadian concert singer takes the audacity to be bold and fearless. Her voice taught the lives of young children that were going to grow up to be the champions of their own aspirations. Her voice didn't quiver under the crushing weight of the world. Instead, she sung louder than ever, all over the vast, rugged land we call home. Her voice, called down from the great above, moved the hearts, souls, and voices of all flushed girls, walking the same halls we walk at Branksome Hall.
I walk the halls that she once walked, separated by time and space, and I can't help but wonder how she didn't let them blunder her glory with their hate. For she had a gift, her voice, and an inclination to share, a prodigy, and so with no apology, she took the world by storm. In her vast ocean, her audience agreed to drown, resilience in the resonance, sincerity in her sound. She broke barriers with that voice of hers, demanded their attention, demanded their praise. In the lights of the stage, that bright spark she set ablaze. Long live the soul who dared to say, I will not be made invisible, silenced and turned away. Dared to say, I will not be pushed to the margins of the history you will write someday. Yes, a beacon of Black excellence, Portia White lives on to be. May we take forth that spark she started. May we let it set us free. For the thing their hate could not mistake is that courage can never be tamed. I walk the halls that she once walked.
Such inspiring words. I think we have some future Nora McRae public speaking tournament winners on our hands. Well, now to recognize and celebrate Portia White's legacy, this quote comes to mind by Irene Moore Davis, president of the Essex County Black Historical Research Society, who said, quote, "What we accept, what we honor, who we choose to honor, says a lot about what we value as a society," unquote. We know that symbols and monuments create meaning, and that public celebration matters. And we hope this project is both a lasting tribute to Portia White, but as well the history of Black artists in Canada and demonstrating Branksome Hall's support of the Black community. Being on the Branksome Hall campus demonstrates Portia White's legacy as an important music teacher, but also celebrates her contributions as a Black Canadian contralto singer in the country she hails from. Miss Sheila White, the distinguished niece of Portia White, will proceed with her remarks after the plaque unveiling. Miss White has been recognized for her volunteerism, and in 2014 was the African Canadian Achievement Award winner for her roles as former candidate and political advisor. In addition to her previous accomplishments, Miss White is music director at the Don Heights Unitarian Congregation, as well as its lay chaplain. She is also working towards the upcoming release of her book, The Letters. I would now like to invite Principal Jurvich, Dr. Clark, and Miss White to the podium for the unveiling.
Join me in the countdown, starting with 3, 2, 1. Well, thank you. Well, thank you, Maria, for that lovely introduction. And what a gorgeous plaque that is. I can hardly wait to see it outside. And as I was telling some people on my way in, the first place where my interracial parents were able to secure lodging after they married in 1947 was at 1 Elm Avenue. So doesn't this come full circle? Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you to Karen, the principal, staff, and students of Branksome Hall School on behalf of the White family for this wonderful and lasting marker to Portia White. She would be thrilled. Thank you for all the time and thought evident in today's landmark occasion. Having known Portia personally, I imagined what she would want me to tell today's students, given this opportunity. And I think she would say, follow your dream, trust your talent and intuition, do the persistent hard work, plow through impediments, and great things will follow. She would say, doors will open for you as they did for her. She would say, never stop studying. As great as Portia was, she continued to train throughout her life. And thank you to Branksome's Edith Reed for helping my aunt's career, from discovering her in Halifax and paving the way for her professional concertizing, to retaining Portia as a teacher on faculty after her retirement from the stage. What an incredible school builder, administrator, educator, visionary, and leader you had in Miss Reed. I quickly want to explain the timeliness of your plaque dedication. There is a surge of interest in Portia White. Portia is one of 6 women to be featured in a book by Charlie Rindress on the Maritime's most famous female singers. The other 5 are Anne Murray, Carol Baker, Rita McNeil, Holly Cole, and Sarah McLachlan. Bob Merzero, a former CBC producer, is working on a new book on East Coast's 50 most important artists, and Portia White is included. There's an article about Portia in this April's edition of Reader's Digest Canada, and one recently in Canadian History magazine where she graced the cover. Ontario Arts Council provided a grant for a new Portia White project involving theatre, music and dance, and the Canadian Opera Company by director Howard Davis, who is here. And of course, she's mentioned in my upcoming book. Hint, hint. So you can see the timing of this immeasurable honor is right in sync with an enduring legacy that continues to grow. Again, speaking for the White family, the recognition is very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White. And I have to say, I'm very excited for the next generation that finally there is now recognition of Black Canadian artists and not always just focusing on what's happening in the States, because we have great artists here too. We have such a deep history here too, and so I'm glad that's finally getting recognized. I am now pleased to introduce Ms. Elizaveta Koslova, class of 2015, with piano accompanied by Sue Cheng, to perform Think on Me by Portia White in celebration of opera history. Ms. Koslova is an active international performer and music entrepreneur who made her Lincoln Center debut as Susanna in Le Nozze di Figaro with the New York Lyric Opera in 2018. New York City is a city in which Portia White often performs, so there's quite a connection there. Without further ado, Ms. Elizaveta Koslova by video.
Eyes have told
Wow, what an incredible performance, and I think the perfect way to end this dedication to Portia White's legacy. Today has truly represented a historical moment for Branksome Hall. This plaque speaks to how Branksome is chartering its future and committing to recognizing the excellence of Black trailblazers. In addition to the ongoing education in integration of Portia White's life and the school curriculum into arts, civics, and English, this plaque represents a sense of permanence to her legacy on the Branksome Hall campus. Most importantly, it represents the magnitude of hard work and collaboration from the White family with Branksome Hall staff and students. Thank you to everyone who is listed in the program for making today's inspirational and motivating event truly successful. Thank you, White family, students, staff, parents, alum, and the wider community attending both virtually and in person for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon. Sorry, I'm just waiting for a check when the cameras stop rolling, if I'm able to give another announcement. Good? Okay, thank you. I would now like to invite you all to a reception, which will be in the viewing gallery downstairs for some refreshments. We'll also be taking family photos shortly outside. Thank you.
When Mary bought Jesus, 'twas in a cow stall, with wise men and shepherds and farmers and all. Then high from the heavens a bright star did fall, which the promise of